Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a bonus episode of BandLab Plus Coffee. I'm DJTatious, and I am here to listen to the new track that I released this morning by @Gramo and myself, DJTatious. It is a song all about how much we love things like the Dookie album by Green Day from the 90s, and kind of our homage to that little spice of nostalgia that you see everywhere on platforms like TikTok, where millennials are just kind of taking over and reminding everyone that the 90s were simply a superior time. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to listen with you in the lab.
Let the music unlock your heart. It's time to collaborate. You're part of the family.
To the lab.
Green Stew over here on BandLab by DJTatious and Gramo, who is quite simply the man. Gramo. If you're not following Gramo, you need to. Released this morning. Wow, it says yesterday. Crazy. Released this morning. It's got 18 plays. So maybe y'all could kind of run that up for me. That'd be awesome. This is our contest track for the 50% No Cap and Great Mates and 808s contest that BandLab are running right now. And let's just take a listen together. Yeah. You know, because we high society. Check this verse. Or Hollister. And cheap cologne. No, I'm not that cool. Let's do it. Let's go back to the chorus. 35. My emo game became trash. Yes, I did have frosted tips. I loved it. Let's go. Love these crunchy guitars that Grandma put in here. It is my firm belief that you need to return to the chorus as many times as possible in a song. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Starting with the chorus is the jam. Ryan Tedder from One Republic says, if you can start with the chorus, do it. Next guitar solo by Gramo. It's not a phase, Mom. Key change. Yes, and that is Green Stew by DJTatious and Gramo on this bonus episode of BandLab Plus Coffee. Here's a little fun fact. I mentioned Green Day in an interview that I did with Angify here on BandLab and on YouTube that you can check out. In fact, I'll link to it today at some point. And when Gramo heard that, he sent me an invite into my inbox and was like, hey, I heard you like Green Day and let's do this. And that was a little while ago. So I listened to the track and was like, what do I do with this? Not because I don't know how to write music, because I love writing music, or rather writing lyrics, but it was kind of a special track. The crunchy guitars, the vibe from the 90s, it needed the right feel. So it took a little while. And as I typically do, I started with the chorus because chorus is king. So I started with the chorus and was like, what would make this song angsty and ironic? Oh, the fact that I'm in my mid 30s and just can't stop talking about punk pop from the late 90s, early 2000s, and the fact that I'm in love with heavy auto-tune, like the way T-Pain uses it, which I know isn't a staple of punk rock or punk pop, but it is a staple of not only nostalgia and, or rather, not only nostalgia, but also a sign of the times where I grew up. Whether it be phenomenal singers like Chris Brown and T-Pain, believe it or not, or Usher, they all came through this era where they used autotune, and they used it in a way that made it more of an instrument and less of an editing tool. I think that a lot of people misunderstand that a lot of us love autotune because it kind of turns our voice into a different type of instrument than when we would normally sing. It's not always because we can't hit a note, although it helps. So, two things I love and one thing I want more of. The first thing I love is this crunchy guitar throughout the whole thing. I mean, just the crunchiest. That the guitars carry the whole thing, and they're great. And when Gramo came to me and was like, I think it's mastered, I was like, I think so too. And then I sent it over to a buddy, Glass Garden, and he was like, well, I'm a guitarist, so I think the guitars could be louder, but you know me. And I was like, I do know you. So I went back to Gramo and I was like, what do you think about this? And he's like, we could do that. And when he sent it back to me, he goes, oh yeah, crunchy, right? And so that just made me happy because the vocal doesn't get lost and the guitars get to shine, and it's just so great. My second thing that I love is this final chorus where we get a key change from the look at me to the look at me.
It's not a phase, Mom.
It's not a phase, Mom.
Look at me. I'm on the other side of time.
And we start just screaming everything.
Reminiscing in the worst way. Want it back. My emo can be fake. Want it back. Now that I'm sitting in the middle class.
That was our way to bring more energy to it. Not only to bring more energy, but I am a pop singer who, like I mentioned, loves autotune. So anytime I get to like really choke in on my vocal cords and just start screaming at stuff, and the raw quality of how those screams sound, they're not perfect. They're not meant to be perfect. They're not designed to be, I'm not Kellen Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens, but what I am is super passionate about this song. And I think that those screams kind of help drive that home with the key change and then just kind of letting loose. It doesn't matter if I hit every note perfectly because it's raw emotion coming through, in the same way that in the 90s, we didn't have Melodyne to manually tune each little thing. There were some things that were wrong and missing. If you listen to Michael Jackson's raw stems from some of his tracks in the 80s, you can hear bleed from other instruments in the vocal tracks. So, perfection is not only overrated, but in this particular instance where we're building a song that aims to love on the 90s, perfection is not desired. So it was a really great experience. Loved working this track with Gramo. The one thing I think I want more of, and that's just me, it's always just going to be me, it's subjective, but the one thing I think I want more of if we were to do it differently next time is I think I would want to maybe feature a couple of other vocalists who aren't me. Whether it be having a girl do a female vocalist do the really, the plugin BL Driver, the really overdriven version of the music that I know is nothing like what's on the radio. That would be really cool. And that always gives me Scott Pilgrim versus the World and Sex Bomb vibes. And so I really do like that. I think I'd like to see like a female vocalist doing some of the yells that are really modulated throughout the song. And then a male vocalist who maybe had a little bit more of a punk voice. But that's just me. And again, it's always subjective. So those are the two things I love. And the one thing I want more of, I would just say y'all really need to head on over to BANDLAB and follow at Gramo. He's got his first show remix out that's really great. He even drops a rap towards the end. And then we have a bunch of other tracks that we've done together. We have an album called Brightside that is quite simply an album of our collaborations. And we love lifting people up and celebrating positivity. So you should go check that out. In the meantime, go ahead and make sure you follow DJTatious on YouTube, BANDLAB, or wherever you choose to consume your social media. And I am glad that I got to premiere Green Stew with you on this bonus episode of BANDLAB Plus Coffee. Have a great weekend, everyone.